believe that there is some sort of spiritual benefit when it comes to celibacy. But the whole abstaining before getting married, I don't believe in that one. Like in this our current society, like really, why haven't you slept with the person that you're going to marry? The person you're supposed to be sleeping with for the rest of your life.
You don't know whether the person can even pass.
What about if he can't? Like, what about if he can't?
And then there's the thing where if you now take out love from the marriage, this person is going to get married that before they get married. Now they're like, I've been trapped.
In the marriage, the man is the head of the home. I don't agree on that setup. If I'm able to say anything on the side of the man, as a man, because mostly we're holding on to something that's harmful to us, this patriarchy, this thing where you must be the head of home. It's important that these conversations are had beforehand. You look at your partner and go, I want to have children, and this is how I want them to be raised. Partner looks at you and says, I want to have children as well, but this is how I want them to be raised. Okay, we can't agree. There is no meeting point. There is no, but we know we want to have children. What tends to happen in the situation where the man is the head is that they go ahead. But what you have is one person who is then repressed.
I had celibacy a try.
In real life?
No, in fake life.
All right. Versus, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Woo! And we have some amazing guests in the building. We have some amazing guests in the house. To my right, I have an amazing woman. She's fantastic. She's beautiful. Moet Abebe, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing, beautiful, lovely Moet Abebe.
Thank you.
To my left, I have an amazing musician. Dwin, ladies and gentlemen. Dwin the Stoic. Our topic today is love, lust, celibacy, and marriage. I love this topic so much for various reasons. I just love it so much. And of course, on every episode, we have people from different worldviews. So Moe is a Christian, though she was very particular about it before we started telling me that she's not a Christian like that too. What do you mean by that?
No. I'm a Christian, that I believe in God,
Well, they go church.
I'm just not a, super devoted Christian.
So that is Christian.
Yeah.
So I'm right.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's nice. And Dwin is a free thinker.
Yes, sir. I think that's a very good.
So what does that mean? Does that mean you're an atheist?
No. I think that I haven't, the question of God in particular, I haven't pondered as much. Agnostic is a better term, but...
Yeah, I think I'm an agnostic as well.
Interesting. See, I have a feeling that we're going to agree with a lot of
Now, I don't want agreement, please. We don't already talk say we don't want argument, but I don't want agreement.
The most kumbaya versus ever.
Oh, God.
Let's see.
I don't want agreement, even though, I mean, we're not here to argue.
Yeah.
But pretty much just examine opinions of this topic from all the various angles. And I'm going to dive straight into it and talk about love in connection to marriage. I'm going to ask you this question, plain and simple. Is love a requisite for marriage?
Well, why
You look like you have something to say anyway.
That's like a deep breath that you
Exactly. It was like,
when you say requisite, you mean like is it necessary? Well, in all honesty, with the way things are going now, I would say that people can be in love and don't necessarily need to validate that love with marriage. So, but then can marriage exist without love? That's a very tough question, I want to say no, but then at the same time I can say yes, because the way society has sort of actually made marriage, it seems like it's some sort of contract. And let's be real, in a contract, there's no love. It's what it is. So if we're looking at it from that angle, I would say no, But if we're looking at it from the typical romance movies, romance novels, and all that, it always ends up, the happy ending is always marriage or some sort of commitment. So Yeah, I think I'm on the fence with that one.
Alright, what would you say to that?
In the way that marriage has been presented as the ideal, we work with the ideal now, and let's ignore that it was constructed within the church and there's morality and all. Let's leave all that and just say marriage to be this thing, the union of two people who have said to each other, "I commit myself to this, to you." If that is the case, then yes, it's necessary. I think you must have it, but because what a lot of our community is missing is love, and this is away from marriage. Just community alone requires love. Not to talk of you have now said me and one person will be together forever. Yeah, you're going to need love for that because everything else, like the partnership, like you can put that on paper. You can't put love on paper. You need to feel something for it. If not, why are you here? You are an adult. You can make a lot of free choices. You can decide to not be here. So if you're going to be there, love the person.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, as a follow-up to that, in the past, I'm going to talk from the angle of Africans, when Africans used to marry one-on-one, when polygamy was a very big thing, which only stopped becoming a big thing some 50 odd years ago, so not so long ago.
Even with religion, I know religion is kind of
even
religion.
I was going to religion. I was going into religion because we have many instances of people in the Bible married more than one wife. I hardly think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. In the Old Testament, how many marriages actually happened that their foundation was love? I mean, Adam didn't necessarily. He didn't love Eve.
Love story. Any wrong
and that's what I was basically trying to say. Like, if we are looking at what marriage originally was supposed to be, it was supposed to just be like a contract in a sense. And as I said, with a contract, there's no love.
So, and hence why I asked: do you think that it was successful then, or which was marriage more successful in the olden days? Or now?
I think it comes down to what is marriage? It's a social construct, yes? We made it up. Cool. And this is a beautiful thing for us to explore because social constructs change as we change. And so there was a time when marriage existed for the sole purpose of, for example, in some places, I have 40 cows, that woman's family has 40 cows.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Let's
However,
have 80 cows.
that came with the patriarchy, it came with
Yeah.
head of the home, all of that. But that was the world where that existed, and it worked.
Yes.
Now this is important because if you then do honest examinations of the lives of the people who were in these things, you will not hear the same. Oh, it worked. You get me. So that's why I don't like with human things. I don't like to go. This thing is perfect, and I'm not the one in it.
Yeah.
Right. But then take us away from. We're going as far back as biblical times, so we're talking BC, right?
Yes.
Fly us all the way like thousands of years later. We're here now. And I believe that over time, we've clung to this idea of the traditional marriage and all that. But it's changed. We must now accept
We must adapt and change with it. I
so
agree.
in this world now, I don't have 40 cows. I have a job. And I work. And I make money. And I'm hoping to have a partner who also chasing their dreams, wants to make something of themselves. And we both say, you know what? I mean, let's leave love aside for a bit. Economically, it's better for us to be in a two-income household. But then with love, it's like I care for your growth. I care about you so much as a person, and this is two ways that it doesn't even make sense to be anywhere else. Let me be here. That's what the rom-coms have helped us sell.
Yes.
That's what we want, but it's not what we have. We go back to the trash. So that's why people have distinctions for my girlfriend and my wife. Where we're just dating and we're married. Is that distinction, that thing where it must be a different thing, is where we tend to lose it. Because then when you're dating, there's the freedom. But it feels like when you're married, you must become
There's a
this
certain way
thing.
you must behave.
And then we forget that as adults, you get to go. You know what? For me, this is how I want to live my life.
Yeah.
This is how I want it. Yeah,
But that's interesting.
Are you really sure you should have made us verses?
Everything
Everything you're saying,
I have to point out.
agree.
I have to point out very quickly that the idea of the show versus is show that even though we are different, we are not divided.
Yes,
So
I like that. I like
So
that.
it would mean that it's a paradox. So we're not saying that we're here to do versus. We're just trying to examine all opinions.
Okay.
And I guarantee at some point in time we're going to have separate.
probably going to.
I guarantee that. I want to now go deeper. You see how you mentioned love and partnership, which is more important, love or partnership?
This is the same context of marriage.
Yes, in this context of marriage. Because
I personally believe partnership.
okay, you understand that we live in a world, especially in a country, where 2 knacks equals to Lambo. So in that situation, you don't know what it means that 2 knacks equals to Lambo. You don't know what doggy equals to Lambo means.
Just leave it. Just continue.
Oh yeah, now Lord Tezi Google. Go and press it in Google. So you understand it. So we have a situation where most of the time, it could also be said that patriarchy caused this. But most of the time, the man is expected to provide for the family. I'm not saying that the woman doesn't also do her own beats in other ways, but in the stricter sense of partnership, do you think that people go into a marriage these days because they are in love with each other, or because they see that this could be a partnership that could benefit both parties?
I think the smart way to go about it is to look at it as a partnership.
So if you love somebody, but the person is incapable.
That's a bonus. Like having a good partner that you love. That love bit is a bonus.
Okay.
The main thing is that partnership.
So it means that if there's someone that you don't necessarily love,
You can partner.
but you can partner with the person.
Of course. What's the basis for this partnership?
Oh, is this a question?
I know that you said you go
There
first.
can be so many bases, but obviously, let's be real. Right now, it's mostly economical. You know, maybe like as you said, you know, there's this family, there's that family. It just makes sense
to
for
bring
the
things
two
together.
families to be brought together. There's so many other reasons. Or maybe you just look at this person, you know that, yo, my DNA, my kids are gonna look really, really, really good with this person. There's so many, many. I just feel like you should actually answer some of these hard questions before you actually answer whether or not, is this really, like, do you love this person? I feel like it's an extra bonus. It's like a cherry.
Interestingly, I have where I think I agree, and then where I diverse. I think I agree that people must do this pros and cons list, because we do not live in an ideal world. So you mentioned patriarchy, and so it exists. When we just talked about how we talk about love. We want love, ideally.
Yes, of course.
But then, like I said, we return to the traditional marriage in a way that, and so ideally we should move away from that. And moving away from that would require something of men. Again, under the patriarchy, you need to let go of this power, this need to be the head of something. I think we're able to, and again, we're able to navigate friendships as men without having hierarchies. I mean, there was a Twitter thing at the time where they had said men's groups have leaders, but I think realistically, men's groups, they just your guys. And I think that we need to, and that's where you see community, right? I think we need to expand that idea of community. You're never looking at your guy and going, because I have more money or because I paid for so amount of drinks, you love this person. So you're not going to think, because I paid for this, I'm better than you. You can't talk to me anyhow. And now you do have that is the thing with and when you let go of that, you're not able to go and meet a person and go, and then you can love work, because that's another thing. You can't be loving someone and be going, I'm better than you. There's no version of exactly toxic.
That makes sense.
And then you can talk about the partnership, because if you love someone, the partnership is not a hard thing to talk about, because it's like, babes, so here's what we have. This is what's happening. But if you come to the table, and again, you're talking to an adult, someone else who has worked for their own money or has their own dreams, and you're going, well, because I'm going to pay, I own this. It's not going to work. So I think a partnership, that's why I asked for the basis, because technically when it's financial, when it's all these other things, then comes in I'm the owner, I'm the
head.
But you take that out, the basis is love. So that's in partnership with the basis of love. That's where I would say, so that you're going from we work, I love you, I care about your growth. This happens both ways. And people will say, yeah, let's do this. And the truth is, when people love each other, truly, if at any point they realize the partnership isn't working because it's like, okay, can you change? And then one person goes, I think I'm set in my ways. And then that's why divorces happen. And it's not always the worst thing, because people can change and then decide this is not. But with love, you don't go get out of my house. This ownership I have is gone.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What you said just made me realize that partnership can be 50-50, it can also be 60-40, can also be 70-30.
But if there's love, it doesn't. 70 does not mean that you get.
Yes,
I get it.
It will come from a good place.
I get it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question. I'm moving forward now. I want to ask you guys, how do you distinguish between love and lust in modern relationships?
It's coming from me. That's not very, Christian. But it's literally what it says, like in the Bible, like how it says love isn't selfish, love is pure. Like that's honestly what I think love is. And I feel like with lust is actually selfish. Like you see someone and you want that person.
Only the person wants you back.
Yeah, still selfish. Doesn't have to be like selfish in terms that you can lust after someone. Whether or not they want you back, it's still a selfish. I want them.
You still want them.
Yeah. The point where they want you back is no more selfish.
No, it's a lot. Like I don't think selfish is a bad word in this.
Exactly. It's almost it's like I don't know if you know much about Sigmund Freud. And what he always pushes is that there's an id in everyone, and your id is basically that thing in you that makes you selfish. Babies, when a baby is born, all they do is cry, eat. Like they don't care whether you haven't eaten. But when you get older, you start to now realize, okay, you can't always be selfish. But I feel like lust is a purely selfish.
And usually it's tied to the very base primal.
Yes, the very primal, exactly. So all those primal instincts, I feel, are selfish. Because you're putting yourself first. It's what you
love
want.
Love must be worked on.
So can lust develop into love?
I believe
It can be a starting
So
point.
why is it selfish then?
so.
Because King David in the Bible now is there in his backyard, is there. You know,
And he
see
lusted,
another woman,
Someone's wife, no?
another person's wife, and he lost.
Yeah. And he was selfish. What did he do after?
He sent the guy to battle.
Exactly.
Okay, that is selfish
That's
now.
the depth to which lust can take you.
Yes.
Now, if the wife loved him back or whatever, we don't know. We don't care really.
He didn't write
killed the
it,
husband.
actually.
Exactly. He killed the husband for it.
But she obviously loved him back because, of
We
course,
don't know,
it's David now. David now, okay now. I think that.
And the thing with the love and lust thing is that I think that lust is attraction. It's that you see someone
Yeah, it's like the immediate thing you see.
and you're just like, oh, I like this person. I'd like to have sex with this person. However, that's not love. That's not close to love.
I believe
But
love
people that
actually
hate
can
each other can have lust.
Hey, so okay. Wait now.
Uh-huh.
What if you see somebody, like what you see first is the physical attributes, do you understand? And you lost after the person, but you haven't spoken to the person yet. Then you speak to the person and you're like, wow, fireworks.
Yeah.
Has that lust not developed into
Still not
love?
No, it's
You're still not in love,
infatuation.
yes.
It's
You're
still
still not in love.
infatuation. You're just infatuated.
And I love having a question because you see that we're not there yet.
You're
in
not
terms
there.
Of,
Like
you've met someone and they great conversation, physical, everything is great. You're infatuated. You're head over heels. You've fallen in love. That thing when you fall in love, where it looks like you don't have a choice. They're just so fun.
That's lust.
I just fell inside.
They should say fall in love.
Because then when you want to love, now you must actively go, I care about this person. I want this person to be
you're more
better.
intentional.
I want this person to be, you get. So yeah, it's not, I think it's different.
And that's why I feel like love can grow. And that's also why, back to that whole partnership and love conversation, I believe that not necessarily most, but some of the best marriages, most times, actually started off like, okay, we're getting married, this is what we want from each other, blah, 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 like a proper partnership.
Yeah.
And then it grew into
To
love.
Which brings me back to my first question. Is love necessary for marriage?
That's why I said that I'm kind of 50-50 with that.
I said I insist on it.
Yes. So you cannot come back and insist on this now.
No, I still insist on it because that's like, she said that, she said that point that.
For now, we have something you guys are disagreeing on, have you?
Yes, I think so.
I'm
Because I think that the partnership. So what you described actually is real in that I know it's me. I'm speaking idealistically now, but what I know that to be is like a lot of our parents' marriages, I think, were formed on a basis
Arranged
of.
marriages.
But I insist that. Okay, let's put it this way: we need two people who are willing to love in that place.
Yes.
I think.
Maybe, yes.
Because then love is not going to grow if two people are not coming there with the
they're not
idea
willing, yeah.
that you must, like, again, love is actually, you must want to do this thing.
Yeah.
That's why the idea that I just love this person and like you don't have a choice. No, you're waking up every day because this person in the middle of all this will annoy you. And I like to use the example of love away from like a romance, community, family, because it's usually the best way to show you how someone can push you to your limits. I mean, not anything harmful, but someone can annoy you and still be someone you love. And you go, I will see you later, you walk out of your house. That's you can do that to your brother, your sister. But I feel like when we get into romantic relationships, it feels like something changes and suddenly, I don't know, the other person on the other end is a do or die affair. You must win.
I think it's the bashing of genitals.
There's that. It actually adds a lot to the situation. No, it does.
Okay.
It is.
While we were talking, so gnashing of genital, I'm going to put a pin on that. I'm going to put a pin on that.
Oh my
Take
God.
a question from our very wonderful audience behind the scene.
Okay.
Guys can cool.
All right.
So I'd like to ask about love. Is it better for marriage or what? This was the step background. Is God
I really could have stepped background. Everybody.
I mean, it's about background. Well, you know. Yeah.
If love at some point grows from partnership, is God also necessary in marriage? That's the question.
Is God necessary in marriage?
This is for you to succeed. Is that what you're getting at? What does success look like?
Exactly.
Longevity.
Long marriage, happy marriage.
That longevity. I have issues with teacher, but I don't think longevity is really a sign that it was great. I think
Yes, that's true.
people
Because married for 5 years and they hate each
accept a
other.
lot of like. See, the best definition I have for why I don't like longevity. How long have we been a free nation, an independent nation? 60 or so
60
years.
years.
It's gotten worse, but we're Nigerian. We're here.
But we're still here.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
so
agree.
it's
Let's
a
say happy marriage.
happy. Okay, happy.
I feel like it depends, you know. At the end of the day, religion is such a sensitive thing because I can marry someone who, is probably a proper free thinker like him, and then I'm like a really, really strong Christian. Then how am I going to say that God? Maybe we have a perfect marriage, and how am I going to say that God somewhat? Maybe he is, maybe from my side, but not from his. So it's almost like
If two of us pray, only her.
do you guys? So it's me that's even doing more of the God work, like all the work for God. Like,
Or if you're a Christian and he's Muslim.
Two-factor authentication.
you know. So I don't know. I don't know.
God is in that also. But no, I think
But I feel like yes, believing in a greater being that is supposed
it will help. I
bring
think.
some positivity into the situation definitely will help.
However, I do think that so God as a concept brought into this now is something that, how do I put it now? Various religions, right? Different teachings, different
Yes.
things. And so when I answer this question, it's like God, I'm cool with God. I think God is cool.
I think God cool too.
But I also know that
I don't get that. God is cool.
and I think it's like a Gen Z version of God is good, no? And it's like, but there's this thing, I've watched enough documentaries about cults to know that when it comes to God, everybody has their way. And then comes the thing where I would rather stick with the love thing, mostly because you bring in God, you bring in what my religious leader said.
Yes.
And then me as a person now get to say, but I don't care about this person. And then we have problems, right? So,
Which leads me to my next question.
Which is
Celibacy. Is it a higher form of love or avoidance of love? I'm going to break it down.
all right.
What does that
I love that.
Please,
I
I
needed-
You said that if someone you mentioned gnashing of bodies now. Because I'm
love that
here when you
we
mention gnashing of bodies.
Yes, right.
Now, and we have always heard, especially we all grew up Christian, and we heard abstinence before marriage. And So I want to ask, also in connection to men of God who don't get married.
Yes. I was raised Catholic, so this is.
I'm-
But I almost.
Me,
hope
same
this
here. Ave Maria.
Same here, to be honest.
Only Mary, Mother of God. This is a very big indication of the Catholic faith. Because all of us now are free thinkers.
Oh my God.
Okay, so celibacy. What's your opinion on celibacy? From the angle of staying abstinence before marriage and also abstinence from marriage.
Okay.
Just abstinence from marriage.
Like the guys, the priest, not my.
Oh, okay. So abstinence was the first one, sorry?
Abstinence before marriage.
Well, I believe that there is some sort of a spiritual benefit when it comes to celibacy, and that's even just from you're not necessarily a virgin, like you've experienced sex and then you choose to be celibate. I believe that there are definitely some spiritual benefits to it, but the whole abstaining before getting married, I don't believe that one. I'm very sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. Nah.
She looked into the camera and said that.
Which camera am I?
He said yes.
That one. No. To me, it does not mean that there's going to be more love or it's not. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't mean anything. Like in this our current society, like really, like why haven't you slept with the person that you're going to marry? The person that you're supposed to be sleeping with for the rest of your life.
You don't know whether the person can even pass.
What about if you can't? Like, what about if you can't?
And then there's the thing where if you now take out love from the marriage, this person is going to get married and be frustrated because now they're like, I've gotten into, I've been trapped. They think so. So I largely agree with the before marriage, but I think the after marriage.
Then the after marriage, well, I can understand why some religions, like the Catholics, would say, "Oh yeah, the men of God shouldn't, do that." But I just feel like it still goes against human nature. Like God created us,
In pairs.
Also with these urges, I think that needs to be said more because I think we all like I mean, again, I'm speaking as someone who's not in the church anymore, but as someone who grew up in the church, to feel these things, to lust, all of these things, is to be sinful, dirty.
Yeah.
A thing that needs to be cleaned. And
Meanwhile,
so
it's like basic human
then
behavior.
I mean, this is a different question. I'm just like, you feel very.
My brother is a seminarian. My brother is like 11 years into seminary. So he'll be a priest in like 2 years. My last born.
Yeah.
So feel free.
No, I think it's because okay, I have this view on religion and how I think it would go if everybody was honest, which is that in the way that you just said, I think we all have our contracts with God, which is why I was like, God is cool. I think no matter how much we preach that all the people who are sinners will go to hell and their life is going to be bad, let's leave hell because that's after death. Their life now, there's no guarantee that just because they are not Christian that anything bad is going to happen to them, right? And so with this knowledge and with the fact that God is a merciful God, that is, He's not striking people down for not being anything, right? That means every one of us has in some way gone, okay, this one I will not do, but this one I will do. And if we're all honest about that, we'll stop being so. Because now, it won't matter to you that someone else is using their free will in a certain way because it's like, well, you have your contract with God, I have mine. Right? And so if we did more of that, returning back to the topic of celibacy, it would be less of a thing that all of us must agree on, right? Like this thing where everybody must agree, we must all be celibate. No, if you want to be celibate, like you said, hey, knock yourself out, right? But it's like, there are uses to, again, just being alone, being by yourself, knowing that, because the truth is, and this is, I'm not talking like spiritual ties or anything, I'm just thinking like, when you have sex with people, it's also like, these are people in your life. So there might be times where you might need to sit with yourself and go, I need to just take
a chill.
You need to lock in.
Keep my quarrel to myself.
But it's not then a thing where because I'm a good person.
You didn't, no.
That makes
sense. That's it.
For my own good, I've done
so that
this.
was literally what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, I actually want to try and give celibacy a try. It's something that I do.
In real life.
Yes, in real life.
Okay.
No, in fake life.
I was just
In real
asking.
life.
I was just asking.
So yeah, I want to because, as I said, there are definitely like some spiritual benefits. It just makes you more focused. That's even why like athletes they don't have sex before a game or before a big match or a big whatever, because there's this general thing that you do swap some sort of ties, some spiritual ties, and
I don't.
So
you don't believe in that.
they're always saying it. They're always saying it on Twitter.
Yeah, I hear about
I
it a lot.
believe in it.
That you know, I mean, people are using your destiny. So you believe that
They should use it better, honestly.
It's not. I don't believe in it down to destiny. I just believe in it down to like your own inner chakra, your own personal energy.
There is something there. I
There
get
is
that.
definitely
Why
an energy that you give off when
Yeah.
you have sex with someone.
I avoid the spiritual type thing
Definitely.
because then it's usually tied to that thing. But from there, where it's like, for example, you live alone, right? There is just a thing where you have a lot of people visit you, and depending on the kind of person you are, after like maybe you've had 4 or 5 days of hosting people.
You get tired and you just want
I beg.
exactly. So it's the same
So
thing.
think of it that way, like. But for the after marriage thing, I think I still return to the contract with God thing. I think the church had started. There was a time when priests were married in the church, and then they thought, it's not good for you to be distracted.
So-
But the Anglican church kept that.
So is it your opinion then? It is my opinion.
Yeah.
That priests should have that option.
Like
That it should not be
choose.
mandated.
I don't know if okay, you say your brother is
I have, it's one of my greatest. So, I like to say I'm a modernized Christian now. Before I was like only Christian, but now I'm modernized. That
What does that mean? Yeah, but
I'm a Christian and a Buddhist. And
I love it.
so I have many iterations of it
okay.
now. But even from when I was still very, very a church boy, I used to think about it that there are some things that we do that should be upgraded. And I feel like priests should be given that option to choose whether to get married or not. Maybe at least the stories of that we have been hearing will reduce.
Do you know that all I was waiting for you to talk about?
I don't talk anything. I say the stories of.
Because I'm like,
yeah.
for that reason, for that reason, yes, the whole thing should be scrapped in general. Because why are we doing this stuff?
They
Why are we
should
lying?
have options.
Yeah.
They should have
Let's
options.
say the truth, right? And if we said, like, again, back to the truth, if we all said the truth, we know what's happening. Might as well just have a
But
place
there's
where.
just this general dishonesty that always comes with religion.
And it's
in general.
interesting because it's religion where you're not supposed to be like. But yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I mean, very, very essential. Love it. I want to ask. So, we all know the society that we're in. We all know the expectations that people have when it comes to marriage in society.
Yeah.
Do you think that those expectations still hold water in the society that we are in now?
When you say hold water, in what sense?
One man and one woman only together forever.
Oh, that's specifically what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm not
No.
with you there.
I
With regards to Lagos men in particular.
No, I don't agree.
Okay. So, hold on. Let me form my argument.
Because somebody will be dragging his own girlfriend with Lagos married men. I'm only married on the mainland. I'm not married on island.
Wow.
You know, honestly, yeah, what I think about that situation is that, again, back to, because I had someone tell me about a married man who was like talking to her, and then when she had suggested that, possibly your wife is doing this as well, and he got, he got quite like emotional. Like, she would never do that. Never. And I'm just like, and then this conversation is happening in a hotel room, by the way, so it's like, he's doing that. And it's interesting because my take is this. If both of them are doing what they want and they're both aware, like, again, we talked about partnership. If you both say, in the way we will do it, you will philander and so will I.
Yeah, why do you think that she won't philander?
That's the thing. The idea is that, but like, if we can agree on that, then sure, let everything continue as it is. But the issue comes in when there's hypocrisy, when there is, only, like you have this conversation on Twitter and there's someone who will go to this like, hey, but man, it's different. No, it's not different too. Women also want to sleep with other people.
Yes, of course. And women do.
And they do.
It's not that they don't.
They
Actually
do.
do. But
So
guess
like-
what? You never catch them.
them.
Because women
Can you tell us
are...
why?
Because women are so much more intentional about things that they want to do. In a sense that a woman, if she's going to cheat, has already even planned it. A man can just be going about his day and he has absolutely no plan to cheat. And oh wow, he just sees this.
Just stumble upon.
But a woman, trust me, she's already planned. She knows where. She knows how. She knows how she's going to do it. She knows what story she's going to tell you.
About to say that very controversial, yeah. And in my head, that is how you should cheat, and I know that you shouldn't cheat.
That's
Right?
actually how you
But here's what happens. If you're doing something bad, societal this thing demands that you hide. You will try to create it. Like that's it. They're trying to hide, but like the thing that I think Nigerian men are doing is that they've gotten like lazy is accepted. Right? I remember growing up like I'm in my early 20s, hanging out with some of my friends who are like early 30s. This is a married man. But there was an ease with which conversations about other girlfriends, this and that. We have that society, so of course, a man is not going to think to, because we have made it so that even if they catch me, if I kiss somebody, that kind of thing. But this is a shameful thing. You shouldn't be doing. At least you should be hiding, right? But I think that's why that is happening. Where we're just doing anyhow because. But I think more people should say the truth about what they're doing with their lives and be free.
Yeah.
You think they shouldn't?
All right, we have a question from
Okay.
BT behind the scenes.
Alright.
All right, so she asked, in a case where, because she took us back a little bit, in a case where we have a marriage where the two partners have two different beliefs, which of the beliefs are they going to raise their children to believe? And if they do not agree, how then can we call that a partnership? Does someone have the final say?
And there was the added context of a final say in a situation where in the marriage, the man is the head of the home. So, now, personally, I don't know how to answer that because I don't agree on that setup. And I don't agree with it mostly, like, if I'm able to say anything on the side of the man as a man, because mostly we are in this place where we're holding on to something that's harmful to us, this patriarchy, this thing where you must be the head of home. We talk about the suicide rate of men. We talk about how stressed we are. We talk about how nobody cares about us.
So that's why you need to
it comes
get
with
rid of
one thing to
patriarchy.
own. America is complaining about the world is but for years America was priding themselves on being the world power. We're number one. It comes with people going, okay, so now what, right?
Okay.
And so that's why I don't really. But however, my answer to the initial thing was things like beliefs are core to your person. Things like children are usually core to your person. And it's important that these conversations are had beforehand, right? Because you're not going to get into a marriage and, because it's even dangerous for the kids. You don't want to not be sure. It's not a thing that can hang in the air. You look at your partner and go, I want to have children. And this is how I want them to be raised. The partner looks at you and says, I want to have children as well. But this is how I want them to be raised. Okay, we can't agree. There is no meeting point. There is no, but we know we want to have children. And then what tends to happen in a situation where the man is the head is that they go ahead. But what you have is one person who is then repressed. One person who must now, throughout the lives of their children, battle with you on it. And again, I'm not saying that the marriage will fail or anything. I think, again, human beings, you find ways. But I think that one person will, over time, have to work on themselves where, okay, let's say the person is Muslim and the head of the house is Christian, and now the children are going to, or Catholic, and they're going to catechism every other day. They're going to, over time, if they're still practicing their faith, they're going to be like, and then that's resentment, bits of it, right? So, you should talk about things like that, I think, beforehand.
Yeah, I agree. Like, pretty much what you said is definitely... the answer to that. That conversation shouldn't be had when you guys are married.
No.
You should be had before.
A lot happens
so it's
in
even
marriage,
from
right?
then that
Yeah.
you know, okay, I definitely cannot be with this person.
And we need to be very I think with the partnership conversation, I think adults need to be also very more straightforward with saying this thing I want it. And then if the person in front of you, no matter how much you love them, if they say to you to your face, I don't want this thing, answer, listen. Because I think people go,
it will change. I
They'll
will change them.
change. Yes. You can't change.
You can't change people.
Can't change.
I mean,
Especially if they don't want to change.
Yes.
I mean, those things that you said, particularly where you mentioned the hanging on to patriarchy, and then men always trying to form like, oh, they're the head of the family, which, like you have said, has resulted in the death rate of
High
men.
suicide rates, yeah. We're pressured. It's a lot. That's the thing. I feel like nobody's even like disputing the fact it is a lot to be all these things. But then you cannot hold on to that it is a lot and then hold on to the same power that comes with it's a lot.
It's a lot, yes.
You must drop both.
You have to.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was just going to chip in with regards to children. One of my spiritual masters, Sadhguru, said something about children, which I take very, very seriously. And he said, children are not meant to be raised because they are not cattle. Children are meant to be cultivated. What that means is you show them the options, then let them choose. I think a lot of people think that they must force their religions on their children.
Yes.
Fair.
Which has led to a lot of us now leaving those religions
Pulling away from it. Yes.
that were forced on us.
I agree.
I had this idea for a video like a week or two ago. When I had the idea, I laughed and I nearly died. I'm not joking. I was on the floor in my house. I laughed and I was on the floor in my house. And I shared it with my sister. And the idea is that, you know how when we were in SS1, we had to choose between art class, science class, and commercial. So imagine that as kids are growing up, you are introducing them little by little, a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of Islam, a little bit of Buddhist, and atheism. Yeah. And then when they're like SS1, you're like, okay, it's time. Which one are you going to choose? Imagine a world like that. Even I think it will be interesting.
Yeah. But I think there are people who raise their kids that way. But I mean, they don't give them all, but they allow in terms of you can choose. And I tend like when you see mixed families in that way in terms of beliefs, they tend to work when the parents are they're not religious. I don't know how to put it.
Like they're not like
as tied to like they have the core tenets of their religion that they hold on to, but they are not in a place where they're like, if you're not my religion, you are done. And if they have that understanding, you can have a situation where you can actually raise kids.
Yeah, because in a sense, being so hardcore with your beliefs in most cases will make you like be very close-minded.
To any of that. And if you are, please leave people who are also.
Exactly.
All right. You guys have given me a very big question, even in my life, that I'm going to have to answer very soon.
Love it.
But then, let's move on. I want to ask, because we're still in the religious conversation, do you think that religious rules about sex and marriage still make sense in secular age?
Absolutely not.
My answer, it applies to the people who believe in it.
But people who believe in it...
Exactly. So now I think she has answered for people who believe in it. Me, I'm just like, I'm speaking as someone, and I'm saying this mostly because I think people need to understand that your beliefs, the things you hold on dearly, it doesn't concern other people. You need to not use that to...
Yeah. If you personally believe that, abstinence or being a virgin to your 40 is...
Although I'm telling you that I don't think it does anything, but still, I think it's... If you believe...
Now, I want to ask, if as a secular being who is in love with his wife, like he's in love with his wife, and as such, he cannot even bear to look at any other person, any other woman. Then there's a religious being who maybe is in love with his wife, but he can also lust after other people. Do you think that the person who is religious would stop himself from going outside because of his religion? Who is more likely to cheat?
Interesting.
I personally think the religious person. And the reason why is, as I said, in general, religion has, especially out here, when I say out here, I mean in these parts, we've taken it so much, like we've taken it so, to the core that we've even almost even passed the people that passed on the religion to us. Like, do you get what I mean? Yes. And we've taken it so seriously. And I feel like with that already puts pressure, which is like what you were talking about with patriarchy, because you're strongly relying on it. The same thing with religious people, because they're strongly relying on these religious beliefs. They want to adapt it so much more into their life, but then they forget that they're humans. They forget that they live in a world where you're walking down the street and you see one girl with BBL that you do not think you will see.
And it's interesting.
Do you get what I mean?
Exactly.
So like, there's just so much temptation, and then you then have these really strong rules that these various religions are making. Of course, you're going to, your flesh, you're a human being.
Interestingly, I think that, yes, I do think the
religious person will
will cheat.
definitely.
And here's why. I think that we've tied morality to religion. And time again, and I'm saying this as a Catholic, if you move, like, look at the Vatican. Okay, take for example how popes are chosen. When you're young, they make it seem like this very spiritual thing where the smoke changes color. But there's a whole thing. There's a process. There's a very explainable reason for. So I think that with religion and morality, because we don't say the truth of what it is to be human a lot in church or in religion, it is then for that person, when they have crossed the threshold of committing this sin and thunder didn't strike them, guess what? They'll do it again and again and again. Now, the other person who is a free thinker, who has chosen to love his wife, who knows what he's doing if he's cheating, will then go, do I want what comes with this? I know what I'm doing. The religious person is going, well, it's just one of those things, like contract with God.
It's not that big a deal.
You've said what you can do. And we've not told other people, but now, like, you're hurting people in the process. That's where it's wrong. But you just said, I will do this. And then a person who is morally away from religion is able to go, like, stand on business. If you're going to do the thing, you do it. But then they know the consequences. A religious person is going to be like, well, this is shocking, when repercussions come. But yeah.
That's interesting.
We have some questions.
All right.
Lovely.
Before you ask that question, so I don't forget this question, I want to ask very quickly. Can you truly love someone without acting physically on it?
When I say physically,
AKA sex.
having sex.
No.
No, now. If you don't reach, if you don't reach there, if you just want,
It can be what? Can be what?
just a little,
A peck?
Exactly. You can just want a bit of.
Of course, you know what I'm talking about.
So you love someone without having.
Now imagine that you have married the person you love. You're now found the person you love.
Wait, I've married what? What are you saying? Say it again.
Say it again.
Why are you saying it? Basically, you find somebody else.
After marrying your wife, you now found your love.
Okay.
So imagine that.
The people say that those things happen.
All right.
People say those things happen.
So can you love someone without acting physically on it?
I think it's possible. Again, remember how I define love, and so you are not, like, you can love a bunch of other people who are not your romantic partner, for example, and there's no need to act on it. I think love is separate from sex. Now, if you talk about a romantic relationship, for a person who likes sex, sex should be there.
Yes.
Right? But there are people who don't, by the way.
There's some people that
thing
are asexual.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's people, like, when you mentioned the religious guy and the not religious guy, something else came to mind where there's also another thing with human beings where we forget that everything is on a spectrum. So people who think in a way where, like, there are people who, they like one person and that's it. Like, quite literally that's it for them. And there are people who are not like that. But again, we don't talk about these things enough. So it's like the person who loves multiple people is a bastard when they should be talking about, like, how to ethically do what it is you're doing. Yeah? But, yeah.
All right. So we have a question from.
Okay, so, we are talking about love.
Yeah.
Do you believe love is a decision or an emotion?
Oh, it's a decision on emotion.
If it's a decision, how do you stay loyal to that choice? When feelings fade?
Lovely.
Do you believe love is a decision
Or
or an
an
emotion?
Emotion.
If it's a decision, how do you stay loyal to that person when the feelings
Feelings
fade? How do you stay loyal to that choice when the feelings fade? That's if it's a decision.
This choice being commitment, yes? Because that's another thing.
Yes.
You can love
I guess
someone, you don't have to commit to marrying them. There's also that thing where love must lead to this forever happy ending. Forever happy ever after. And I can tell you that, and this is like just couples where maybe they divorce around their 30s, they start talking again in their 50s.
Now there's no marriage there, but these are people who loved each other in the beginning, life happened, and then when they came back, they still love each other. But you see how there is no need for a happy ever after where, but there's still people who love each other, and then the component of love, which is you're concerned with this person's well-being, right? Once that's how you're looking at love, I don't know, the feeling is one thing, but I think you do need to decide. And that's the thing, and why it's good to look at the decision is because I don't think people should feel trapped in love. If you wake up one day and the decision to do this thing is not like you don't want to love this person, I mean, best thing to do is always tell them and figure out your life. But
What do you think, Moe?
I actually agree that it is definitely more a decision than an emotion, because emotions are like feelings. They come and go. You know what I mean? They today I can have this anger towards you, and then tomorrow I'm good.
Yeah.
So what is important is for me to actually decide, and then it's still back to that whole idea of intentionality. Love is intentional. You have to be intentional if you want to show or prove to someone that you love them. So I personally feel like, yes, it is a decision, and the best way to sort of, stick to it even when the feelings go, I would say, is if the love is from a genuine place, in a sense that, just back to what I said, like, it's not love isn't selfish, love is kind, love is, as long as it's coming from that, then it will always be there. Do you know what I mean? Like, the love will always be there.
I think there's an interesting thing there is that I actually really agree with that, like that verse on love. I like that it says, I think what love should be. However, there is a scenario where I think people change, right? And so in the decision to make, to be in love, to love someone, they could change.
Yes.
And you, as a person who should self-preserve, please try to. You must, again, decide. Because that's the when you live love to be a thing that I just fell inside. Now this person changes on you. This person becomes mean to you. I'm inside, right? But now, when you see love as a decision, you wake up every day, this person, they love me, I love them. And I'm going to love them in this way. I'm going to make sure their day is fine. I'm going to make sure this is fine for them. But then you wake up one day and this person doesn't love you, isn't doing things that love and abuse can't exist like together. They're not the same. Like you can have care, but the person abusing you is not love. And so it's like when you have that and you know that to be the case, you then decide, you know what, I don't want, this is not where I want to put my effort. I don't want to love, this. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Do you guys have questions too?
Yes.
Okay.
I want us to delve into another part. So even if it's doing it, it's fine.
All right.
I want us to delve into the modern concept of partnership. Like
Yeah.
we've been saying.
Yeah.
So people are partners, but they're not married.
Yes, I
Oh
love
my
that.
God! Why are you always piercing into my brain? That was my next
That's why I
question.
put
Can
it
you
down.
have companionship without marriage?
Of course.
Mad.
And the concept of companionship, do you think it's okay when there's no like legal?
Yeah.
Let's go into it. Like, so
Yeah.
marriage is also a contract. That
Yeah.
is
Yes, it is.
legally, so there's some backings. Like if something happens,
What you can
get,
get, yeah. Well, I mean, in the context of children, I always am pro marriage.
For marriage, yes, I agree.
Yes.
Yes, so that.
Okay. I think I should add that.
Yeah. Prenups, yeah.
So now we're married and the contract, but this my money.
Yeah.
You can't touch this.
Sure where it's going to go to, which also delves into
Interesting, actually. I like that. I like
which
that.
also delves into divorce.
Yeah.
And the reasons why you feel people should divorce, because underlying religion as a Christian, most other religions, concept of forgiveness,
Yeah.
right? So when is it that whole I can forgive?
And then I must throw it away. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That flow.
Interesting.
Love it, producer. You're always piercing into my brain.
Thank you.
Love it. Okay. So the first question I'm going to ask is, because I know of a few people, I think Oprah Winfrey has that sort of
I
relationship.
think Kamala as well.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris.
I think so. Is she?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, no, they're married.
No, they're
They
married. No, they're
All
married.
right. So can you have companionship without marriage, and can it be successful,
I believe you can.
even with children? And
Now, children, no matter what, whether even in a marriage, will make things a bit complicated.
Yes.
Because even
Yes,
people
I
who
think
marry,
so.
once they have kids,
Things are different.
Things change.
Yeah.
So obviously, it will still change in a
Yeah.
partnership.
Yeah.
So that's a completely different conversation. But if it's just me,
someone.
chilling, we have house, we somehow split the bills, whether it's 70-30 or it's 50-50 or whatever. Whatever the
Or
case
maybe
is.
the man can be paying 20, or it can't even just help him, man.
I knew you were going to
Can't
say
you
that.
just even help him,
I knew
man?
you were going to say that.
Can't I just be chilling?
No, but you know what? But you know what?
Must man bring the most?
Do you know what? Most men feel like, yes, they bring in more money, but there's so many other sacrifices that women make
No, in fact,
that you cannot
Interestingly,
actually quantify.
it's not even backed
you cannot
by
actually
actual
pay for
data.
it.
I think that
I actually personally feel like housewives, housewives, I feel like that's one of the hardest jobs in the world.
I agree.
Because
I think
you are not
unless-
getting any salary,
Yeah.
but you are basically taking
and
care
unless
of
in
a whole
really
family.
rich partnerships, I don't think anybody's ever truly just a stay-at-home. They're usually working. Women have always
Yes.
been working. Like I know personally, a lot of
Yes.
people were like the woman, thanks to the patriarchal structure of marriage, they must now give the man money. And so when it's outside, what we hear, the man provided, he dropped this, he dropped that. So that's why I'm like, I really with human interactions and with. I used to work as a Coco, as a editor in chief, and I would talk to people and do because under the this thing of anonymity, people would say the truth, right? And so you see people and you're like, these things are not as they seem. We must like look into like, oh yeah, the marriage lasted for 50 years. Yeah, but what happened inside?
Yeah, what happened?
And you can't know because one person must tell you the truth. And if the person says no, I'd rather not. Then all you know about that marriage is that I was so perfect. Now to the question where the
Companionship without marriage.
I think companionship should be the basis of marriage, and the marriage, and then we have the thing of now there are contracts. Now there are this. There is this. This is what you can legally be allowed. I think I don't know if it applies to us here. I think the U.S. your wife or husband can't testify against you or something of the
different things
sort.
like that.
Same here.
Yeah,
Even
same
here.
here. But
Same
and,
here.
and even with what's it called? I also think the medical profession where you can't. Point is there are things where it's a contract. It's all good. But again, if we ideally, a marriage should be based on
Companionship, yes.
we enjoy
Each other's company.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Do you have to make it a marriage? That's what I'm asking.
Do you have to? No,
You
shouldn't.
don't.
You don't have to. If you don't want to.
Even if you want to have kids.
Can I be very straight with you? Some of the most successful women in the world, they are partnerships. They're not marriages.
Because this current structure of marriage does not work for women.
It
If we're being sincere.
actually does not favor a woman.
Right? Look at
It doesn't
Nigeria.
favor
You
a
must change your
woman
name,
that
you must do
has strong
newspaper.
dreams and
Yeah.
wants to put her name out there. That wants to
Oprah Winfrey don't change her name. So,
How?
Oprah Stone.
or something. You know?
And it's like it's that the current structure of marriage as it is, like we talked about, we go from I love my girlfriend, I love my boyfriend to I have my wife at home. We have that, and so while that exists, it's okay that some people can go, I don't like that people feel like this is I want companionship is something you assuming with dating. That's something you're going for. That's what you're in it for. So I just expect that should be the basis for anything, even conversation about marriage. If you're talking about marriage, you must have but you don't then have to do the marriage.
And I also feel that people also tend to be very, very afraid. Well, they don't believe that they are afraid of commitment, but they really are. So
It's
it's
a
just
lot.
back to that whole dishonesty, not being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And I remember that even speaking about Oprah Winfrey, she did say that the day that she decides to marry that man, that's the day that they will end. And I was able to relate with it because there's this general pressure, just like what you were saying. I'm dating this girl. There's no stress. But
Once you're
once,
married,
this is my wife, this is my husband.
secretary does
That
that.
title, putting a title on it, I'm now Mrs. So.
You'll be shocked, like Oprah Winfrey, all she's done. Suddenly, some people will start to refer her as someone's wife.
I get it.
You
I
see,
get it.
and that is it.
I
And
get
then
it.
that's what it becomes. You then
get it.
become, you're no longer Oprah Winfrey,
And
host,
this person.
you're now Oprah Winfrey, wife, mother, this thing, all
I get
before her actual job.
I get it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask now, because we're rounding off.
Okay.
Oh, am I scared of
Till
this?
death do us part.
Okay. Does that exist?
Till death do us part. In connection with prenup, I want to ask you, if you were to get married and your man asks you to sign a prenup, how would that make you feel? I'm going to, conversely, can you ask your woman to sign the prenup?
To be honest, I've never really been against it because I would like to believe that if I was going into a marriage, whether or not I'm in it for your money. No, let me take that back. I've always felt like if it is a genuine marriage, then like your money won't be the main. Yes, it'll be a bonus, it'll be a thing, but so whether or not you're trying to protect yourself, it won't really affect me because I know that I'm not here to steal your money. But I also understand people that are like, oh, that means you don't even trust me at all. That's why you're. So I get that, but I just feel like if you have good intentions, then it shouldn't really bother you.
But don't you think, I'm going to come to you, don't you think that you being married to somebody and the person leaving you, don't you think you deserve, because I completely understand the American system where there is a split, because ordinarily, if a man leaves a woman, where is she going to start from? Do you understand? Even to marry again, go harder, to go easy for man. Do you understand? So I can understand them trying to protect the woman. So don't you think that a woman deserves to get something from that marriage?
Of course, but then when it comes to prenup, that's basically, in a sense, most times prenups tend to be, oh, I've made the money I made before I met you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not interested in the money you made before I met you.
Okay, so it's the money
I'm more
after.
interested in the money maybe.
Okay, so you now put in the prenup that.
Well,
we
maybe.
separate the money we make now.
I think typically, I don't know how they're supposed to go where if you, like most of the time, they're protecting assets of before. Because, for example, I don't know that, with prenups, I personally think, like you said, it's if we're talking practically.
And I also feel like you will know the type of prenup that is going to set you up. Like, you will know that
Also,
this one is not just protecting his money. He's protecting, he's doing more than protecting.
Here's my issue with prenups. And but also why I think they should exist. Sometimes they have the infidelity clauses and things of the sort. And, okay. let me approach this in a different way. I think that the idea that, you don't trust me, isn't this marriage? Yeah, but we've seen what happens in marriages. What are we talking about? Like,
exactly.
Historically, marriages have not always been smooth. That's life. And so, makes sense. However, I think that, like you said, if I think you had talked about if I would give a prenup. Interestingly, I was considering the question from if someone I wanted to marry gave me a prenup.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's
That's
possible now. What about if
That's the kind of person I'm looking to marry.
So will you sign it?
God.
So will you sign?
Will I sign what?
Will you sign the prenup?
Well,
You won't.
Do you know, I love this because this is the love of life. When you be like, but now ask you, will you
sign it? You won't.
But I think
You
I
will
think
not
it's a
like
very,
it.
very serious question.
Interestingly, I would look at it as, again, the assumption is also that this is someone who has made her name, money, and a lot of things that I am also not interested in entrenching on. I have what I'm doing with my life. I have something doing. So with that in mind, me too, I want to protect myself. And back to the ideal version of marriage. In an ideal version of marriage, you wouldn't need that. You understand that this person loves me. We build this in a basis of partnership, blah, blah, blah. And so there's no world in which a person who truly loves you will, I don't know, even if it's not going well, would go, I'll take all your money or get out with nothing. However, we don't have an ideal version of marriage in the world. In fact, the world is largely patriarchal. So if prenups, I think for the world we exist in,
Definitely
should exist.
protect men.
Definitely, and they do. And so that's why I'm like, if there is a version of like things where a prenup is just what it is, two people, because what is the marriage at the end of the day? Still a contract that you signed, we're both married. So just add one more contract and go, this is our marriage, these are
This is the amount of this. Is what
That makes sense.
right?
So obviously people don't believe in till death do us part then.
Man, if with the prenup, you can
With the
take that.
prenup, we can take it. to
Oh,
death now.
yes, because the prenup is trying to say,
Exactly.
in case death do not do us part.
Exactly. If something else do us part.
In case we part before death.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I like
love
it full
it.
of these things.
I love it. Guys, it's been a great conversation.
Thank you.
I mean, time has just flown by.
Yes, perfect.
And we didn't have a lot of versuses. We didn't have a lot of versuses in this our episode.
And I think it's good. These are good conversations.
Yes, and it goes to show, end of the day, that we're not divided. We're just different.
And
we just
approach
have
things
different.
differently,
Yes.
even though it still will get to the same result.
Yes, we approach things differently. I don't think I have too much to say. I just really hope that you guys enjoyed the show today. And please, always remember to leave comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know your opinions. Every opinion matters. Every opinion matters. And please, always, 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 always remember that we are not divided. We are just different.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. What a show.